Good morning, children of God.
Good morning.
So good to have you all here this fine day. Sun is shining. We're here. Perfect day. May not seem that way, but it is. We're just working with that one, aren't we? This came up. Backstory. I'm not always sure what we're going to put up. Okay? We look at what our program is for the day, and then we let God work through us. This came through today because it's extremely important for our whole world. Not just us, but for our whole world. When we love, we continue the creative action initiated by God. Underline the word continue. In other words, that creative action is always. Okay? And our whole world is transformed. So, when we love, our whole world is transformed. Let's start loving. Saturday. Well, continue loving. You guys are doing great. Breathe. Oh, loving Father, Mother, God. We acknowledge your presence moving in and through us this day. This day we ask for your guidance, for your direction, that we may walk our path in peace and in plenty. This day we choose to be open, receptive, and responsive to your instruction and guidance. This day and in this moment, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Amen. Today's daily word is comfort, and this morning Sharon will read our daily word for us.
Hey. Good morning. You all can hear me. Okay. Today's daily word is comfort. I bring comfort to friends, family, and all humanity. The dictionary defines comfort as a feeling of freedom from worry or disappointment. However, true comfort cannot be found through external means. That inner feeling of freedom that expresses itself outwardly through peace of mind only comes from being fully aligned with the power of spirit. I feel and radiate that feeling in the face of every challenge, in my life and in the lives of others as well. It is an essential part of my spiritual purpose. Making choices from a centered sense of comfort is an essential part of my spiritual practice. I maintain that feeling of peace in my interactions with others, allowing it to radiate throughout the world. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Psalms 23, chapter 4.
We've been having that kind of morning since we arrived last week, I think. Just kind of that way. For those of you who are expecting perfection, see you next week. For those of you who are expecting God to work through us, welcome. Stuff happens, and you get to choose how you're going to respond. You can react, or you can respond. Choose to respond. Respond in love. That's the easiest way to go. Guess what? The clock is still going to tick. God's still going to love you. You just get to choose. So when challenges show up, choose to respond from your heart and from love. One of the things that we've discovered is the more often with power and authority we state who we are from the core of us, the more that shows up in our world. So let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's rest in that as we join with Steve. The Father and I are one. From your heart now. Oh, and good. We lost our picture again. That's okay. It'll keep looking. Here's what we're going to do. Gently, easily, effortlessly. We breathe and we move to that place within us that Jesus called our inner closet, our secret spot, that place within you where there is no question, there is no doubt. The Father and I are one. And as we enter in this day, we follow His instruction and guidance. For He said, as you enter in, close the door. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day. And for a few holy moments, I breathe, I pray, and I listen. In my prayers, I'm learning to ask, O loving Father, guide me to express perfect health and wholeness. Having prayed, I listen. For in the stillness, in the silence, answers come. Perhaps in the form of a word, order, harmony, peace, wholeness, understanding. Perhaps that which you need this day comes to you in the form of the music, the vibrations that stir your soul. Regardless of how these answers come, these gifts, know they come wrapped in love. And this day and in this moment, I say yes. I reach out. I claim these gifts. I embrace them. I immerse myself in them. As I do so, each and every cell of my being responds. I am blessed. The stillness and the silence, I remember. From the core of my being, I am a channel through which good flows into our world. This day and in this moment, I open that channel wide. From me, through me, good flows. First into this room, this place, joining with other thought of like mind, growing in strength and in power, touching, healing, blessing. From you, through you, good flows into our spiritual community, wherever that might be this day. To those who have asked, pray with me. To those who have asked for healing, we know it is done. From me, through me, good flows into our community, our city, our state, across our country. Healing, blessing, illumining. From me, through me, good flows around our world, throughout our universe. In this flow of oneness, we know that in spirit and in truth, we are never separate one from the other. Somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For that which has come from you, through you this day, gratefully received. And that gratitude swells up and returns to you. The circle of life, whole and complete. I breathe it. I live in it. And I rest. For holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, but holding to this experience gently now, easily, effortlessly, I bring my attention back to this place, to this now. Holding to this experience we have shared, I join with you and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." Today seems to be one of those days when our electronic devices are all saying, "Nah, don't go there. You don't need me, I'm taking a break." And so they're broken. Or not, I don't know. Another opportunity to practice what you preach. I needed one more of those. Or a V8, pick one. One of the challenges in life is that we forget to live life. We see what shows up at us and we say, that is our reality, this is my world. And that's all there is. And we have forgotten a truth. And the truth goes like this: God is all, both visible and invisible. That which is all is perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. Man is, therefore you and I are, an expression of God, and therefore one with perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. And we forget that. One with perfect life. An expression of other than the perfection is what? That which I hold to. I was sharing with Steve before service that lessons keep coming back to you on a regular basis because you just start living and you forget them. When I was in school, particularly in the study of metaphysics, my instructor, one of them, used to tell us on a regular basis, understand that as you interject new ideas, new ways of thinking that are going to challenge your beliefs, that your body temple is going to react. Be prepared for it. It will happen. And in every class, and we're talking about intensive work, and in every class there would always be one, two, he said, holding his hand up, that would end up with the sniffles or congestion. That was the big one. Congestion was huge, right? Because your body temple reacts to this new way of thinking. And what I was sharing with Steve is, I've been in the throes in the last month or so, even longer than that perhaps, of working on some things that were important for me. And I've just been doing the intellectual work, which you need to do first. You need to do the awareness piece. Okay, and then I gave voice to the thought, which means I had made a decision, yes? Because I'd given the power of my voice to the thought process. And now I have to do it. Oh no! And so, what happened this last week for Rob? I got a cold. Hit my chest. I was congested. I've been sneezing. Oh man. Remember what Paul told you? Yeah, get off the bed. Okay, here I am. Right? Of course my body temple is going to react. I've been making some changes in thinking. Right? But the fact that I'm here this morning is practicing being an overcomer. See, the congestion, the expression of other than perfection is not my truth. It's my experience. And that's why our theme for the month, which of course you can't see, you would if we had the slide up, is my experience is what shows up. My thinking leads to my experience. So I just need to change my thinking, I change my experience. Right? They used to say, thoughts held in mind bring about the reality. And I'm going, no, not reality. Experience. Reality is one of those nebulous little words. It could work, but I like the notion of experience because that's right here, right now. I get that. Much easier for me to comprehend. Okay? So when I begin to change my thinking, I'm going to have a change in my experience. And in order to have a complete change in my experience, I have to overcome my default position, and we all have it. The default position is the one where you know things are just going perfect, and then all of a sudden we buy into this. Bad things come in. How many of you said threes? Mine come in sixes, sevens, or eights. There's no number. And I get rid of bad things. Right? But as long as we hold the thought, then that becomes part of our... We start hunting after two bad things and going, oh, there's that third one. Hold the boot out. It'll hit in a minute. Right? That's what we do. That's our default. We've done it for so long, we don't even think about it. We just go there. And that's when it's time to be the overcomer. To say, wait a minute, that's not my truth. First, bad things don't. They only appear. That's the first part. The second part is, and I can change my world, transform my world. One of the things we were talking about this morning, Steve and I, was that when we're here like this, working one-to-one, this is much easier in the sense that we get instant feedback, instant response. But when you love with a capital L, that love goes around the whole world, the whole universe. And you affect it, whether you believe it or not. And if you don't, that's okay. But when you heal and think healing thoughts, you heal your whole world, including at a distance. And we've had teacher after teacher in this room who have said, it's not just here. Wherever I am needed to be, I am there. And I don't even have to know what that need is. I just need to be open. And this is why our sacred healing meditation is so important for the work that we do. To allow love to flow through you into another. To be on the reverse of that, to have love flow through others into you, so you have a memory of how that works, that you can then express wherever you are and under any set of circumstance, because you remember that this particular process is all about love. Love through me. I am a beloved child of God. That's my truth. It may not always show up in my experience from here, but it's the truth nonetheless. And so I just need to choose to overcome whatever challenges show up in my way. It's my life experience. It's how I remember to express who I am. Most of the time I do a pretty good job. Most of the time. But every now and again, you hit default position. Stuff stacks up and you forget. When you read the story of Jesus' mission in ministry, particularly here in these next few weeks, those who loved him the most kept saying, don't go there. Because he was aiming for Jerusalem. We're going to be in Jerusalem for the High Holy Days. And those who loved him the most kept saying, you know, they're going to kill you, dude. Now, they didn't use that language, but their fear was palpable. They said, go another way, and we'll go with you. And he consistently said no. That this what I am about needs to be done. See, and that's true for you too. Wherever you are, you're where you need to be. And you need to move forward in that. At whatever step you are in your life. Whatever challenges are showing up, whatever overcoming you need to do, for you, you're right where you need to be. You just need to choose to then say, I choose to overcome it. And take the next step, whatever the next step happens to be. The big one called ascension, that's down the road. Let's use little ones. I'm getting over this cold. I'm overcoming it. I choose to express this no longer. I'm done. Right? And guess what? I am. Now, I may go home this afternoon and go, all right? That's okay. But I'm in process. I'm in process. There are people who show up in your life to remind you of who you are and to give you little mental hooks, for lack of a better term, where I don't need to remember the whole phrase. I just need to remember a little mental hook. And I was sharing with Steve that when things appear chaotic in my life, I hear in my head my grandmother. Because one of her mantras always was, everything is in divine order. Dear. Anybody ever heard dear as a swear word before? Right? That's how it felt. Right? And she didn't mean it that, but she was saying, as Jesus said to his disciples, are you without faith? Pay attention. All is in divine order. Even if you can't see it, you just need to overcome it. When he's in the boat with the disciples and the storm comes, he's taking a nap. And they're afraid. They wake up the Christ. And the Christ of them and him said, of what are you afraid? Hey, we're sinking. Peace, be still. His message was simple, not easy. Don't confuse the two. Simple. So move to simplicity. Peace, be still. Okay, I can do that. All is in divine order. Breathe. The alternative is something you may not want to face just yet. Okay, breathe. That allows you space to overcome whatever the challenge is. This morning they were talking about mind matters. It was really kind of fun because I'd been involved in some and knew of others. Experiments conducted to see about premonition, to see about sixth sense, to see whether or not psychics and mediums are real or not. And from a scientific perspective. And there are those who believe no, and there are those who believe yes. I look at it from the perspective of there is one mind. One. How I see it may be different from you, and where I see it, and I say that word on purpose, where I see it may be different than what you're seeing too. So I may float in and out of what's going on in my world. And there's some scientific explanation for some things and stuff, not so much in others. But one of the studies that they did just intrigued me. They were working with hallucinogenics from a medical perspective. And it was a gal who was a cancer survivor. But she was in distress and dismay about the possibility of cancer coming back. So she agreed to become a participant in this test. And they gave her what in the street language we call magic mushrooms. And she, with the doctor, had a vision. And she said the vision was a big black lump right there. It wasn't the cancer. It was the fear. When I addressed the fear, and it dissipated, and it never came back. Now, I don't recommend that trip, necessarily. But what struck me was that that's what we need to do, is recognize that fear. Eliminate that fear. Allow love to come in. And that's, for me, that's the replacement, yeah? And however you get there, God love you. But whatever fear you're holding on to, work at releasing it. That's overcoming it. Most of us do pretty well with the whole idea of fear. We're still challenged with worry and concern, which is fear writ small, right? It's okay. We're working on it. And anytime you're not sure, anytime you find yourself going, breathe. And paint a picture of you. Because you need to put you in this equation. And ladies, God love you the most, I can tell, because you care about everybody else first. As a trait. Now that's not always true, but as a feminine trait, yeah? You need to put you first in this instance. Okay? Whatever my circumstances, I put me first. Take a picture of me. Got it? Hold it. And to that picture, in this circumstance, whatever the challenge may be, breathe. I love you. Together. I love you. Breathe. As you love, you change the picture, but hold it to that picture and that circumstance. I bless you. Together. I bless you. Breathe. The picture changes. Hold the picture. I appreciate you. Together. I appreciate you. Breathe. The picture changes. Hold the picture. Now take the big leap. in this moment, I behold the Christ. Together, I behold the Christ. And in this moment, allow that picture to be your experience. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.